Hey guys, I'm Mark 2 here, back with another video review. Today we'll be taking a look at none other than the God of Thunder himself, the Infinity War Thor from S.H.Figuarts. So stand by and stay tuned. So I'm very excited to have this figure finally in my collection, and as you can see, I've already taken him out of the box. But before anything else, let's look at his box. So his box is a standard single S.H.Figuarts box with a window, and as you can see, as obviously in the Bandai logo, which is colored blue instead of the regular red, this is a premium Bandai release, which means it's only limited to Japan. Luckily, some of our suppliers here in the Philippines were able to get some allocations, and I was able to snag one for my collection. And box is standard fare for S.H.Figuarts with pictures on the sides and a picture of Thor with his bare arms on the front of the package. And here you can see that here is Thor with some of his posing suggestions, but it's very obvious here that this cape and this cape have some wires, but we don't have that in the actual figure. So more about that later. So that's it for the box, and let's move on to the figure. So here's Thor, and he stands around 6.25 inches tall. So it's good height for Thor, since he is mostly one of the tallest figures in the Avengers lineup. And what I can say about this figure is it really captures the likeness of Chris Hemsworth in the movie. So there's even the scar on his the side of his hair left by the haircut given to him by the late great Stan Lee. And he even has his scar on his temple, which was given to him by Hela. And this really captures the visage of Chris Hemsworth. I dare say almost Hot Toys like level of detail for the head. And as for his accessories, he comes with 2 open hands, 2 fists, and 2 gripping hands for the Stormbreaker. And that's it. Of course, he has Stormbreaker, but in the accessories department, he's quite the lightweight. It would have been good if Bandai included a shouting head, or a head with a different expression, which would have been great for photo shoots when he's in battle. But as it is, I'm very grateful that Bandai gave us quite a screen accurate face. And this Thor has a cloth cape. Unfortunately, it doesn't have wires, but you may have noticed that mine is kind of posable and bendy. That's because I added a wire inside the cloth cape. And if you want to learn how to put a wire on Thor's cloth cape, you can check out my tutorial video, which I will include in the link below. So he has a standard articulation for S.H.Figuarts, which I will not anymore mention, since I think most of you already has. Oops. By the way, this is just inserted through the arm via ball joint, so it can easily be removed. Not sure why they made it that way. Maybe they plan to give him some bare arms, but decided not to. Anyway, you can see that the figure is sculpted really well. Even the armor on him, although mostly in black, has different finishes. For example, this bicep upper arm is in a really shiny metallic finish, and what are supposed to be wraps around his forearms are in a matte leathery kind of finish. Even the discs on his uniform are of a different finish. So overall, a very well made figure. So some of you might be thinking that you may have seen this figure with bare arms, and some have even suggested using the arms of this Thor to replace the arms on this in order to have the look that we find in his box, which is this one. But most of the videos that I seen tried to use this one and failed miserably. They tried adding blue tacks in order to fix this arm onto this figure. But I tell you, there's a much better way to replace or replicate that picture on the box, having his bare arms. And this is by using the arms from the Thor Ragnarok figure. So I'll show you how to swap arms between these two, and it really doesn't need any special tools nor any heating or anything that would consume time. Just pop and replace. Okay, so I'll show you right now. So in order to remove the arms, you have to remove it and include the inner part with the butterfly joint and just tug on it. It may be a little scary at first, but it will soon get detached. As you can see, that is just attached inside by this small ball joint. So we've already removed the arms from this one. Okay, and let's do the same with the other one. So we've removed both arms here and here, and now let's do the same for Thor Ragnarok. First, remove his shoulder armor and then gently pull out the arms. So this is what I am talking about. As you can see, the construction of both arms are very similar, which lends itself well for swapping out parts and giving the Infinity War Thor the bare arms look. So let's attach it to the Infinity War figure. So what we have here right now is Thor with the bare arms. And you can see it really fits well, with the exception of the hole that's left by the shoulder armor. It really fits well on the Infinity War Thor and gives you the option of displaying him in his bare arms. Okay. So looks good, right? And there's also one more question that we frequently come across is, does the head of Ragnarok Thor fit on the Infinity War Thor and vice versa? Well, the answer is yes. I suspect that they reused the mold from the Ragnarok Thor and removed the helmet and added on the hair sculpt. Evidence of this can be seen as there's helmet of the Ragnarok Thor is obviously a separate piece that is glued on. So if you want Thor or the Ragnarok Thor to have the unmasked helmet, then you can use the Infinity War Thor's head. So let me show you, and it easily pops out like this. Remove the head from the Infinity War Thor, and right there you have an unmasked Ragnarok Thor. So getting the Infinity War Thor really has a lot of benefits, because you can have the option of displaying Thor in his various appearances. Of course, you have to get the Ragnarok Thor in order to do this. But again, it's not impossible. As you can see right here. Here is the proof. Okay? So I hope that helped you. And for size comparisons, we'll be comparing him with the other figures. So before we start the size comparisons, I'd like to mention there's one small gripe with this figure, and this is with his Stormbreaker gripping hand. As you can see, it's molded with a loose grip, so Stormbreaker tends to fall off. One solution that I've found online was to replace the hands of Infinity War Thor with the Mjolnir gripping hands from this figure in order to have a better grip at Stormbreaker. So let's get on with the size comparisons. Here he is with the Ragnarok Thor and the Age of Ultron Thor. As you can see, they are mostly the same height, which is good since this is just the same character in his different costumes. Next, we'll compare him with Infinity War Captain America and Iron Man 2 Tony Stark. So here he is almost the same height with Captain America, and of course a bit taller with Tony Stark. And here he is with the Infinity War Hulk and Infinity War Thanos. So I think he's in a really good scale as compared to Thanos and Hulk. And finally, here he is compared with some Marvel Legends, the Marvel Legends Ragnarok Hulk, and the Marvel Legends Proxima Midnight. Again, I think the scale is quite good when in contrast with the Marvel Legends Ragnarok Hulk and Proxima Midnight. So, as a conclusion, uh, is this figure well worth your money? Well, I can say that it is really worthy of the premium Bandai label. However, I have some gripes, which is they could have installed wires on the cape and given him a shouting or battle cry head and better Stormbreaker gripping hands. But aside from those small gripes, I'd say I'm very satisfied with this figure. Being a premium Bandai item, he is priced at a little higher than the regular S.H.F price point, but he is well worth it. As you can see, you can create a lot of Thor's different appearances in the movie by mixing and matching parts from other Thors like Ragnarok and giving him better gripping hands or by swapping the hands with the Age of Ultron Hulk. So in summary, this is really a good figure, and if you're still undecided on getting it, I suggest that you get it now, as I think this is just released on a limited run. So please hurry and get this figure right now. So we've come to the end of the review, and I hope that you found this review informative, and I hope that it helped you decide whether or not to get this beautiful, beautiful figure. Again, this has been Amor Mark II. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment down in the descriptions below. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time.